Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Football Park. Today we've got a topic of conversation that I say has been trending recently, but it hasn't been trending like in the last couple of months. This year, I'd say towards the start of this year. And I'm joined by the Refi Geezer, as always, of course. We are both EFL content creators. It's got some sort of relevance to the EFL.
Yeah, of course.
We're talking about 3 up, 3 down, the sort of scheme that the National League have got going on. Basically, 3 teams to come up from the National League and 3 teams to go down. Now, we've had a little controversial, I say controversial, we've both had our opinion in there before we've clicked record, and we've both been like, do we want 3 teams to come up from the National League, or...?
Do you know what it is? My big point earlier was when we were explaining this back in our little room.
Little room. We are locked in a cage.
No, I think to get into a football league, people forget it's a jump from semi-pro to professional football. To have that jump, it needs to be hard. You can't just have any ordinary semi-pro team coming into a professional league. Yes, it does amazing for the clubs, who don't have that much financial backing, in the lower leagues. But at the end of the day, you are coming into professional football, and if you're coming into professional football, you need to bring that squad. Because otherwise, if we've got 3 coming up and 3 going down, it's going to be a yo-yo effect.
True. It's like what we've got in the Premier League and the Championship, really,
exactly.
Isn't it?
I think
you see the same teams going up and down all the time.
Exactly.
That, obviously, there's not as much the parachute payments effect doesn't come into effect in the League Two and National League as much as it does with the Premier League and the Championship. But I think the main point that they're trying to make is to make it more fair and give more opportunity. But it's a sport. Like, quality doesn't have to be the same from the Premier League and the Championship as it is in the League 2, League 1, because as you said, it's a jump from professional football, from non-professional football,
semi-pro,
non-league to, semi-pro to professional football. And it should be harder.
No, exactly.
It should be harder to get promoted from a semi-pro team to a pro team than it is to just move up the division, really.
Exactly. It's like when you're starting out on FIFA and you're changing the difficulty from semi-pro to, world class or legendary.
Suddenly you're like, whoa,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Exactly, and that's the thing in National League, especially with these teams, right? When we talk about financial structure and do you have the financial muscle to be in certain leagues?
Yeah.
In League 2, you're going to have teams like, they're not then right now, but Bradford.
Big teams.
Massive teams, massive financial backing. That's what you're going up against. If you have 3 up coming up, any ordinary team, I know it's just one position, but at the end of the day, you're going to you lose that competition. And then you're going to have
we can talk about how they come up, because there's obviously only one automatic comes up from the National League, and we were looking earlier about how it works. It goes down to 7th. That's 7 semi-professional teams that have a chance of becoming professional.
Exactly.
That's already a fair enough as these points they're going to make. There's a good enough opportunity, and it's fair enough for 7 teams to have a chance come into the season, and they want 3 out of the 7 to be guaranteed to cut. I think 2 out of the 7 is more than fair.
Yeah, because it goes back to that thing at the end of the day. You're coming into professional football from semi-pro. I think 6 teams in playoffs. That's very competitive. It shows who's the strongest out of
exactly
a good bunch of the National League.
Obviously, 2nd and 3rd go straight to the semi-final, but then you've got the other teams that are going all the way down to 7th place. Think about the gap between in the Championship, the points from, even the Premier League, the points between the top 4 and 7th are huge. You've got the best 4 teams in the league, and then you've got all the way down to 7th. That means, if you put that into National League perspective, there are some teams who are like 20 odd points behind automatics that have still got the same amount of chance as. I think that's already fair enough.
In all fairness, I think it was Oldham who came, 6th or 7th
this year.
Sure. Last year.
I didn't know they'd come up to this year. 2nd
and 3rd get automatic semi-finals in the playoffs. When it was Oldham Athletic,
they were 6th, 7th.
Yeah, but they managed to work their way to a final and win the whole thing. And I think Oldham's a proper club. It's good to see them back in the football league.
Speaking of Oldham, the last time that they were in the football league was, like, we were looking at the teams to get relegated. It was 21-22. They got relegated from Scunthorpe. They got relegated with Scunthorpe, and it's taken them this long. We're now on the 25-26 season for them to rebuild and become a professional football team again.
No, but yeah, exactly. But it's great to see, because it gave them the time to rebuild. Now they're back in League 2.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, they're not even doing that bad.
No.
They got the financial backing now. Like, they lost a lot. But it's interesting, we talk about finances, and you've brought up Scunthorpe, because they went all the way down They were an established League One side, and then they went all the way down to the National League North.
They had a decent academy as well.
Yeah, exactly. But then something happened with the owners in 2023. I think some new owners came in. I think they're still looking for some more investors. But with what they have now, they're doing quite well because they're unbeaten.
You told me they've gone unbeaten.
Yeah, they're unbeaten.
So they got relegated to the National League North, and then they got promoted straight again.
Nah, they spent, I think, 2 seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
So they've gone from League 2, 2 years in the National League North, and they're now going unbeaten in the National League.
Yeah. Well, it's 6 games in. Is it, the National League season is quite, it's quite long, but they've had 3 draws and 3 wins at the moment. So.
Fair play.
Yeah, so for how they're doing, it's quite good.
And again, just like Oldham, it's taken them this long to rebuild. And I think you've got to look at the reasons why teams get relegated. Well, obviously, if there's 3 go up, 3 got come down. You look at the teams that are come down, they're obviously not ready to be playing professional football because they're not good enough anymore. And it's taken these teams like Oldham, Scunthorpe, it's taken them 4 or 5 years to be like, right, we need to prep and rebuild from being a semi-pro team back to where we want to be before as a professional team.
No, exactly. And I think they've done that quite well at the moment. Yeah. So it'll be good to see because, Scunthorpe, they've got a good fan base. In the National League North, they were always like selling out stadiums.
That's pretty nuts, isn't it, really? Well, we were looking at the teams that have come down. You don't see, I think in the last sort of 5 years I was looking at, you very rarely see teams get relegated from League 2 into the National League and come straight back up again. You just never see it. Unlike the Championship and the Premier League, where you'll see like your Leeds, Burnley, Norwich go down one season, they'll be back up.
Do you know
whether it be that season after that, or it'll be the one after that? It'll be.
Yeah, no.
Go on.
It's interesting you bring that up because a good example of that is Sutton United.
Sutton.
I remember 2 seasons ago in League 2, they were predicted to be in the playoff spots or promotion. They ended up getting relegated.
Yeah.
And they've spent the next season in National League, they finished mid-table. And they don't even look promising this season. So
they clearly weren't ready.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I went to a game that season. I'm pretty sure I went to Sutton versus Walsall. I was trying to complete the 92. And they were 4-0 down in 20 minutes.
In all fairness, they battered us on Boxing Day. I'll never forget that. But
what, Wimbledon?
Sutton battered us.
Sutton battered Wimbledon?
Yeah, it was only 1-0, but they played way better than us on Boxing Day.
That's the thing, to be fair. Some teams are ready to be consistently in the as a professional football team.
But yeah, no, with Sutton United, obviously when they were in League 2, some people said they weren't rivals, but when we played them,
so it's sort of it is London, isn't it? Sutton?
Yeah, South London.
Yeah,
they're not that far from us. I think it's a stop on one of the southwestern trains. But, like I said, people say it was some people say it was a rivalry, some people don't say it was a rivalry, but when we played, it was quite clear it was a high
intensity Londoner
game. Yeah.
But I'm really interested to see what everyone else thinks in the comments, to be honest, because I think when we were looking it up, 9 out of 10, or some stat was 9 out of 10 people want 3 teams to come up, and me and you were like, no, I don't think we agree with that.
I think
it should be a challenge.
Oh yeah, I was expecting it to be more 50-50. 9
out of 10 is the majority of people want.
But at the end of the day, if you add an extra promotion chance to some of the teams, yes, they're going to get that financial payments, but they're going to be way out of their depth in League 2 because you're going to have teams there who are years ahead of what they are. So
Bradford were in the last season. They spent time in the first division, haven't they?
Bradford were in the Premier.
Yeah. Was it Premier League or was it first division?
No, Premier League. They were
definitely in the Premier League.
They were definitely in the Premier League.
Wow. Oh, so Bradford, teams like Bradford who have spent time in the Premier League, and then you got teams like Bromley who have come up, who just never ever
To be fair, Bromley haven't been bad.
Bromley haven't been bad. I'm just saying Premier League experience, top division professional footballing experience.
That's true.
Nowhere near the likes of Bradford.
It's quite surreal seeing a Bromley got to Bradford in a normal league game.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of League 2 and League 1. You've got you can either have some shitty stadium Harrogate. I mean, you're gonna the next week you're gonna go to somewhere like Bolton or Huddersfield. So
when you went to Bradford, they filled it out, didn't they? I saw the video. They filled it out.
It was 17k. They had 17k home fans.
Mental.
It's insane for League 1. That's amazing.
Fair play. Well, listen, I wanna see what you guys think in the comments. Would you like 3 teams to come up and 3 to go down, or would you rather just keep it how it is? Because I actually quite like it.
For more information and more articles about things like this, make sure you check out footballpark.com, where you'll get a variety of information. That's where I got all my ball knowledge.
Footballpark.com. Listen, come back in the next episode. We'll be talking about a different topic, mainly EFL related. So we'll see you, me and the referee geezer, in the next video. See you later.